This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Hey!
Okay, we'll try this a different way. Oh, sorry, just grooving. Anyway, hey, Easter eggs in that video. If you notice, when you show up, James, on the intro, you notice when the car goes by, you hear it screeching.
Yes.
And then when it shows me the Renaissance Center, the light turns blue on one of the beats. You'll see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, I got to go back and watch.
You gotta go back and watch. You gotta look on it. Anyway, it is Friday with the fellas. It is the 10th of October. And hey, we had a football game last night. And the New York Giants came out smelling like roses, and Philadelphia smelled like boo-boo. Philadelphia sports right now is not in a good place. Not in a good place right now. I think they're sweeping the harbor looking for Philadelphia sports fans right now, because I think all of them jumped off a bridge at one time and just because they look
hanging on by a thread is the
Right.
Philly sports guy.
Yeah,
I would definitely like to see where he's at right now.
right. He didn't come on the show on early morning with Bo, so yeah, I probably wouldn't either. The Philadelphia Eagles lost. This is all in the span of one day. The Eagles lost, the Phillies lost, the 76ers lost, and the Flyers lost. How bad can it possibly get for a Philly sports fan? Woo!
Are the 76ers 0-4 in preseason? No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think they just started preseason, so I don't even think they played 4 games yet. But right now we do have a baseball game between the Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers. Winner takes all, game 5. It is Scooble versus Kirby. The score is 1-0 Seattle in the top of the 4th. And we'll keep you abreast as much as we possibly can. But let's start with that game last night.
Well, hold on, my brother. Before we go any further, how are you doing? How are you doing, my man?
Oh, I'm just ducky, man. I'm just ducky. I'm looking forward to football this weekend. I'm looking forward to Michigan USC. That's going to be a big game for Michigan. And I'm also looking forward to Lions in Kansas City. That's also going to be a good game. So there's a lot of good games going on this weekend. How are you doing? I know your LSU Tigers are playing this weekend. How you feel about that?
Yes. I'm ready to bounce back. First of all, I'm doing well. I'm looking forward. The Saints coming off a big win against the Giants, and we're looking to make it continue to keep it rolling this Sunday against the New England Patriots. But the LSU Tigers, they coming off they're reeling from a loss. They would drop down to 13, I believe. I think that's where they are. Yeah. Let me make sure. LSU is at number 11. They went up. Even in their bye week, they went up a couple spots. So they got South Carolina and Lenore Sellers. And I'm looking forward to them at home, bouncing back, beating up South Carolina. Even though Lenore Sellers, Heisman Trophy candidate, possibly. He plays well. He's a dual threat. He's almost like a Timu Cam Newton. I think he's a big guy. He got a big arm. He can run the ball as well. But I just don't think that South Carolina has the juice. They lost two crucial games. I think did they win their last game? Either way, they're not as good as they were projected to be starting out at the beginning of the season. And so LSU, I think the biggest question for them is going to be Garrett Nussmeier and his health, and whether or not he can come out as the Garrett Nussmeier that he was last season, and what he's projected in the beginning of this season to be able to be a much better player, a deep thrower of the ball, and he's got the weapons. He just needs to make contact with the receivers and the running back. And it looks like Caden Durham, their running back, who was out, their starter, is going to be back for this game as well. And I'm looking for the defense to be much better against Sellers. They look like they did well against Lagway for Florida, who was is a dual threat quarterback as well. They got 5 interceptions on him. I think they're going to get if they can get a couple of turnovers in this game, it's going to be bad for South Carolina. I think LSU runs the table, albeit they likely will be without Aaron Anderson, their top wide receiver. But they have so many weapons to fill in. I think they can do without Aaron Anderson. But I'd look for the score to be maybe 35-20, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm pulling for LSU. I've been pulling for them this season too. That's like I usually pull for 2 college football teams besides Michigan. And LSU's on my radar because I think they're a pretty good team actually. Speaking of your New Orleans Saints and their defeat of the Giants, they played a really good game. They forced Jackson Dart into doing rookie stuff, making rookie mistakes. The defense showed up. The offense showed up. It was just an all-around great effort by the Saints. Kind of makes me wonder what the state of the Philadelphia Eagles is in right now. I'm not taking any disrespect away from your Saints by beating the Giants, but when the Giants going to Philadelphia, when the Giants play Philadelphia, I think most people pick Philadelphia to win that game because there's a bounce-back game they had against Denver, and you would think they were pissed about that. But at the same time, there's a lot of rift going on in Philadelphia, and it has to do with mostly the offense. And I think the offensive coordinator is going to be in some hot water pretty soon. I think that Sirianni, if he's a good coach like people think he is, people say he is, he should fire his offensive coordinator this doesn't get any better for Philadelphia. Because right now, A.J. Brown doesn't even know if he had a meeting with Saquon and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. I'm not understanding that whole situation, but Saquon said they had a meeting, and A.J. Brown says, I don't recall. So that kind of stuff right there,
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this about the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to say thank you. Why am I saying thank you? Because you just said one thing that confirmed that the New Orleans Saints made the right decision. How did they make the right decision? By hiring Kellen Moore. They got their offensive coordinator, Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, to come and be the head coach for the New Orleans Saints. Now, mind you, they've lost 4 games straight, and they just won a game. They're getting healthy, and they're meshing. They're starting to get that chemistry together and learning that new offense. What's up, Matt Yinzer? Hope you're doing well, man. I think that the issue is Kellen Moore's not there. And I think it makes a big difference when you don't have the right person to fill in the shoes for the predecessor. And you can attest to that yourself. It looks like you have made the right decision, and I can eat crow and say that the Lions now look like they're very formidable. They actually they look like they haven't took a step off. They're pressing on the gas and putting 30 and 40 and 50 points on folks. So, and they're doing it without the services of Ben Johnson. So I would say that you guys are doing well. I hope the Saints continue to do well. And yes, you're welcome, my friend.
That's good old Robbie right there. This is what I think is so ironic about the whole situation, because all the hype that we had all during the summer and during the spring training, the preseason football and stuff like, oh, what are the Lions going to do? They lost both their coordinators. There might be dead in water. Here, Philadelphia, yeah, they win their first 4 games, barely, might I add. If it wasn't for the defense, they probably wouldn't have won at least 2 of those games. And now they're all, now the offense is all missed. First of all, how do you run Saquon Barkley just 10 times in a game? That's just ignorant. That is flat out ignorant.
He started the game well. Big 18-yard plays on the first drive, 15-yard runs, and you take it out of his hands. Put it in his hands. If you're winning the game, if you're having success with running, the Giants couldn't stop the run at all. Saquon was just having a field day, and like you said, only 10 carries the whole game. Something's not right there, and those are fireable offenses. If you particularly know your quarterback's not being successful with the ball, he's missing a couple of receivers, overthrowing them. He threw a couple of picks because they were trying to get back in the game, and the Giants, again, you're playing against the Giants. You should not lose that game, even if it is in New York. And the Giants, look, don't take away from anything with Scatterboo. I'm not taking anything away from the rookie quarterback. Now, there is some controversy now. They're talking about, particularly in that game, Jackson Dart went into the tent under concussion protocol. And so Dayball goes over there, Scatterboo goes over to the tent, and they said that Dayball was a little bit animated when he was talking to the team doctor. And looks like, and after that, Jackson Dart went back into the game, except minus 2 plays on that particular drive. There going to be some review, from what I understand, to see if there was anything that was not kosher with that. To see if they put the kid in too soon while going concussion protocol, because he reached for his head when he hit the ground, and he wasn't, it looked like he wasn't in a good way, but he went back into the game. Did he have a concussion? I don't know. I mean, I would think that he probably didn't, but again, you can kind of see that Dayball is, to me, that interaction tells me that he's on the fence. His seat's a little warm. It's hot, actually, and he's trying to make sure he does everything that he can to have that, give the ball to the hot hand, the person with the hot hand, so they can win games.
Yep. Yeah, that game was full of drama, actually, to tell you the truth. The fact that Philadelphia did 4 in a row of tush push to get a first down and a touchdown. I know that irritated a lot of people, because as soon as they started doing that, my phone was blowing up with people commenting like, dude, stop this stuff already. Ban the tush push. Do this, do that. Look, my stance has always been this way. Don't ban something unless it's either harmful to the players, which it's not, or if it's being done in the wrong way. Now, the only thing I have about the tush push is there's a record of and site showing that people are false starting on this, and they're not getting called for it, even though the league officials said that, hey, we're going to be looking at that play and making sure that gets called. But I've seen false starts about 3 times since they said that, and they haven't called any of it. That's the thing that pisses me off. I don't care about the tush push, because you just got to stop it. It's just a play in the NFL, just like any other play. And Philadelphia has actually been pretty good about jazzing it up a little bit. Like they ran, did a toss on a tush push setup one time, on a 4th and 1, or it was a 3rd and 1, I think it was, and they did it against Denver, as a matter of fact, and they just tossed it out to the running back, and he ran out to the outside when everybody thought it was going to be a tush push. So I mean, they're just trying to do other things other than just keep doing that. I don't know, man. It's they got to catch that false start stuff. That's what they got to do.
So what will slow the tush push down is definitely if you begin to penalize them, they're going to slow it down. They're not going to do it as much. I mean that's just obvious. But they're not, if they're not calling it. if you're Philadelphia, you're going to continue to do it as well.
Run it four times in a row.
Right.
So
and what did Matt Ginger say? What did he say?
He said, I'm not saying ban it, but it's annoying to see it. Yeah, it's annoying, especially when you do it 4 times in a row. That's a little nuts. But at the same time, at least one of those times I did see a false start by the offensive lineman. And they got to start calling that stuff. I don't mind them doing a tush push. That doesn't bother me. But if you're not calling it fair for the defense, if they're false starting before that's makes it more difficult to stop. Because you got
it's a niche.
It's a cheat.
It's a niche play. It's a niche play. It's if you go back a couple of decades back, look back when Miami had the Wildcat. So the Wildcat was totally different. Obviously, it's nothing different from college, but it was sort of like a college play. A halfback standing at the quarterback position, taking direct snap and running the ball, and it was almost unstoppable. Ronnie Brown was the running back. I remember out of Auburn, and he was killing it, man. He was killing the Wildcat. And then, of course, we know the NFL is a copycat league. You had other teams trying to do it, and they weren't as excuse me, I can't even get the words out of my mouth. They weren't as successful with the particular play. And eventually, Miami wasn't successful with it. So at some point, it may be just a fad for Philadelphia. They're not going to have that same stout offensive line that they have all the time, and they're not going to have the same quarterback all the time that you need to run that play. And it may just fizzle out at some point. So you may not even have to ban it because it may just not be successful. I think this particular team had the right personnel, had the right time, right coaching, and they're able to utilize it and have a high success rate with it. Other teams cannot, unfortunately, and it's just what it is. If you're mad at that, you got to figure out your own situation. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
The game. There you
That's
go.
It. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the game. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you right now, and their successful rate is high doing that, but at the same time, it has been stopped many times. So it can be stopped. It's not something that can't be. And they're not running at 100% efficiency. You know, I think it's like 67% efficiency. Some are 60 to 70% efficiency that they're running it at. But at the same time, it's not going at 100%. So it's getting stopped. You just got to learn how to stop it. And you're right. With this particular team, they can do that. Once the offensive line shuffles in and out over the next course of a couple years, and your quarterback is a different quarterback, or your coach is a different coach, whatever may happen, and you don't even have Saquon Barkley anymore, you know, whatever the case may be, it's going to change with the offense. So it may fade out. You're right. And that fad may fade out. So, but I think that the Giants did a pretty good job. I'm not taking nothing away from the Giants either. They played a really good game. Jackson Dart, he can amaze you at some points, him and Scatterboo. But it seems like it's a home thing when they go on the road, and they're not that good. So I guess that's a rookie thing. You know, he's got to get accustomed to playing on the road and stuff like that. So, I mean, combination with them playing Philadelphia at their worst, basically, and you know, and they put an effort into winning that game too. But did you see Jalen Hurts overthrowing receivers too? I was like, dude.
Yeah, I think this is the situation where I think they're trying to get AJ Brown and Devontae. What's Devontae? I mean, no, it's not Devontae. Is Devontae? Devontae Smith.
Devontae.
They're trying to get them back into the game, and rightfully so. I mean, it's most receivers, as you know, Brian, are divas. They can't be successful without the quarterback getting them the ball. You can do jet sweeps, you can do all sorts of other tricks, and but at the end of the day, they want you to throw them the damn ball, like Keyshawn Johnson said. He wrote a book about it. With that said,
damn ball.
Throw me the damn ball. So with that said, you got to be able to get those guys involved, because your offense, it can't just be predicated off of running the ball with Saquon. Now, mind you, Saquon was the engine that drove that team last year. And I think that was part of the problem this game. They got the complaints from the receivers, so he's trying to get them the ball, and they're neglecting to give the running back the ball, who they're injured. My thing is, if you're winning, why are you trying to fix something that's not broke? If it's not broken, try to, even if you are winning, because I will say you got to take Devontae Smith. Yeah, you got to take things like with a grain of salt. You know, every team, these are the champs. The Philadelphia Eagles are the 2024 NFL champions. They won the Super Bowl. For any of you who don't watch football, you're just watching the show for the first time. Hopefully you know that the Super Bowl is the most popular game in the world, that the Philadelphia Eagles are the NFL champions of 2024. What you don't know probably if you're not watching the game, that every team is bringing their best to beat the champs. So they're going to have this possibility. They're going to have tough games. Look at last year. Look at Kansas City. They still made it to the Super Bowl, but almost every game they played was a tight game or a loss or a win by a hair, just a thread. They threaded a needle. And I wouldn't doubt that the Philadelphia Eagles do the same thing. They possibly will do the same thing. So this year, but I think they're going to figure it out. I think they're going to iron out those issues that they had. This is not going to be the same team that they had when they won 7 or 8 games and then lost the last 5 or 6 and then losing the playoffs to the Minnesota Vikings. I think that they will bounce back. They're going to figure it out, but they got to do it soon. They got to do it really soon. And I heard you mention that on well, I didn't hear you. I saw you wrote on the show, on Keith and Jack's show today, that they were missing
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, yeah. I know Keith didn't agree with that, but no, that's a big deal. When you have an all-pro like that, that's a huge deal in that running. I mean, you can't. It's hard to stop the run. So, I mean, yes, next man up, fine. That's easy to say. It's easier said than done. I don't think it's next man up in that particular instance because you might not have the depth that you necessarily need. And I don't know why he was out particularly. Do you know?
I think he had. I couldn't. I'm not even going to say up and try to lie to you. I don't know. He had something wrong with a ligament or something. I don't know what was going on. But
so
he
injury
playing that game. Yeah, he had an injury. Yeah, but Keith, New York fan, obviously. Well, he's a Patriot fan, but New York is near and dear to him because he lives in New York. And, of course, Jack is a New York fan, too. So they're up there hyping him. Yeah, I don't think that Jalen Carter was surprised. Yeah, he was exactly the problem. Well, they won without him the last time they played Dallas. So, I mean, come on. It's just – I don't know. And Pink Panther, thank you for the promos. Those are excellent. Good job there, girl. You did it. You did your thing. Yeah, I would say, their lack of defense. I mean, their lack of depth. I just think they're young. That's a young defense. You got to remember, and Quentin Mitchell went out in a game too. Mitchell went out in the game too. So they lost one of their better corners on the team for me. I don't know if he came back in. I didn't see if he had come back in or not, but he was out I think he went out in the second quarter, and I didn't see him on at all. And the little bit I watched from the third and the fourth quarter, I didn't see him back in either. So I don't know if he was out for the whole game. But somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, Philadelphia is just the offense has to stop. You know what they got to do? They got to stop letting the receivers dictate stuff to them. You won when Saquon got 2,000 yards last year. You won a Super Bowl on that promise. Yeah, Jalen Hurts didn't have to do nothing. If they managed to stop Saquon on a couple of downs, like running, and it was like 3rd and 3 or something like that, or to keep the defense honest, and you have to throw, no big deal. And he did a good job of that. But what it is now everybody's output as a receiver is low because of this whole Saquon Barkley thing, and now they're getting mad. Dude, you're still getting played. You won a Super Bowl doing this. Shut up. And if you don't like it, I've been just like Philadelphia. You want to go somewhere else? Go somewhere else. See if you can win a Super Bowl with them. Because we'll trade you to a sucky team if you want to go, if that's what you want happen. Other than that, shut up. You're getting paid. You won a Super Bowl. You're on one of the best teams in the NFL. I don't understand these players. They're like a bunch of spoiled kids, man. Well, it's
So
receivers are.
Jalen Hurts is not the type of player to be like a Drew Brees that throw for 5,000 yards or a Jared Goff. That's not his game. That's not his game. You got to play within the confines of his skill set, and his skill set is either first read, second read, and take off run, give hands to the running back, and that's it. And it's just and it's like butter. I mean, it works when it works. It's just that I think a lot of teams maybe I don't know. I think to me the play calling has changed, and I think that's the biggest issue right there. And a lot of that went out the window with Kellen Moore. So we'll see. I think they have the personnel offensively. They can bounce back. I like Dallas Goddard. I think he's going to be probably their bread and butter in regards to getting most of the receptions. I just think he's the most reliable like safety net for Jalen Hurts. Uh, it doesn't look like AJ Brown's getting open, but I mean, you're supposed to be able to throw tight window throws to a guy like that because he can get you 50-50 balls for you.
Yep.
And
he
also,
he had a pretty good catch in that one in that game too. He was
right.
pretty much getting draped, and he still caught a ball over him. I mean, that's AJ Brown. That's what he's there for, to make those kind of catches. Devontae
Right.
Smith is the guy that's supposed to break open the defense by running down the field and opening up the defense. So I mean, stay in your lane. That's how I feel about it. You guys are winning games and you're complaining. You're complaining you won a Super Bowl and you're complaining. Come on. The Browns said you made quote he wasn't hyped when they won because he didn't feel like he did dominate. Well, it's a team sport, dude.
Well, just like Leroy from the Budweiser commercial, when they said there's no I in team, Leroy said there's no we either. So he probably said there's no we either. So with that said, I would think that AJ Brown, like you said, needs to grow up a little bit, or it might be better for the team and for AJ Brown if either sometime before the trade deadline that they part ways, or at the end of the season part ways. It's just you can't keep. And that's the thing I don't like about Sirianni. I think he's a good coach, and I think they you can't deny that they had success in the last 3 years. They've been in 2 Super Bowls and they won 1. It's just you can't deny that. But at the same time, winning cures all. But when you're losing, this kind of stuff becomes magnified, and you have to be able to keep this under wraps as a head coach. And I blame specifically the head coach. You can't let this go on. You saw what he did on the sideline last year, reading the book and everything else, meditating or whatever you were doing. You can't do that. It's a total distraction. And if you're allowed to do this sort of thing, now you hear Devontae Smith coming out saying things as well. And he's a quiet one. I never heard him say anything, and he's talking. So you really got to get that under wraps, man, before your team begins to unravel and your whole season's gone before you even know it.
Well, let's put it to you this way. See, this is the difference between coordinators. Again, I hate to focus upon my team because my team actually does the stuff right. They didn't change too much in the offense when they changed coordinators. It seems that Philadelphia has changed a whole bunch because they don't run Saquon, which they were doing a whole bunch last year. If Saquon's not getting 20 touches, at least 20 touches in a game, they're not going to win too many games. And they got lucky in winning the games that like I said, 2 of the 4 games that they won, they got lucky in winning them by blocking a field goal because, Rams special team didn't do their job. So I'm going to tell you, if this keeps going on and both A.J. Brown and Smith keep jawing about stuff, the first person that's going to go is that offensive coordinator. Because that's what a head coach does if something doesn't work out. He fires them first because, you always fire those people first because they're not the players. And then the players, and the players are still complaining when they change offensive coordinators or Sirianni takes over the play calling, which I want to see him do because he's not he doesn't have that same skill set that Dan Campbell has. So that ain't gonna happen.
So Philadelphia, if you listen out there, me and B Strilla got 3 words for you in regards to Saquon. Run the ball.
Right. Run the ball. You gotta, and the same thing I gotta say for Baltimore too. Baltimore does the same stupid stuff. Oh, we have Derrick Henry, and this dude can run through a wall basically and get yards, but all of a sudden we only gonna run him for like 2 or 3 times and then try to pass the rest of the game. First of all, I love Lamar Jackson. Okay, he's an athletic quarterback. He can run on his own. He was second. We had this discussion this morning as well on Bo's show, and he was second to Henry last year in rushing. He had 951 yards. You know how many starting running backs don't have 950 yards last year? So they got a two-headed monster. And then when it comes to important games that they need to win, meaning the Ravens, what do? They go way away from the run. The first game of the season showed you exactly what they thought about Derrick Henry. They played Kansas City, first game of the season. That one they lost because of the toe. No, they lost that game because they ain't running Derrick Henry like they supposed to. They couldn't stop Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was running all over them. So, I mean, if you got 2 of the best running backs and you're not using them, why have them? That's what I don't understand. I mean, if you don't have, I'm sure there's plenty of teams out here that would know how to use these running backs. If you don't want them, you can give them to them because obviously you don't know how to use your great, top 2 running backs right there.
So Baltimore, if you're listening, we got 3 words for you too.
Yeah.
Run the ball. The ball. That's right. And don't drop it, Derek. Yeah. Don't drop it.
Yeah, we're giving you kudos, dude. Don't fumble it away, man. Don't fumble it away, figuratively and literally. Yeah. Just and if you want to get really, really serious about it, run the damn ball. Okay. Run the damn ball. How about that?
4 words. Yes. Run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball. All right. So we done beat up on Philadelphia and the Ravens. The Ravens just caught strays. That's all that happened to them. This weekend coming up, we have the end result of the Milwaukee Brewers playing the Cubs tomorrow to decide the 5th game. Cubs just came out of nowhere. They said, we ain't taking this stuff no more. You ain't going to be up 2-0 on us. Nope, that ain't going to happen. So they came.
I got Keith's voice ringing in my ears. He's saying that the Brewers are going to. It's like the old guy, the guy that played Eddie on National Lampoon's Vacation, the cousin Eddie, Randy Quaid. He was on Major League. He said, "Oh, they're blowing in the night." I mean, you hope that they won't blow it in the night because they look like the best team, one of the best teams in baseball, and they're letting the Cubs come back and tie the series. What is your projection for this series tomorrow night? I mean, for Saturday night.
Well, considering the fact that Milwaukee had the best record in baseball this year, I would figure they would figure out a way to pull it out. And you don't want to get beat by the coach that used to coach your team. You don't want that to happen. No, you just don't want that to happen. So, I mean, get that stiff upper lip going and win this game, Milwaukee, or else you're going to look like a heel. Right?
Stiff upper lip. Yeah. I really, when I saw the score, because I couldn't watch the game, I was just like, wow. Again, that voice just kept ringing in my ears, man. Keith, he knew. He just said you just didn't trust him. And here we are headed to Game 5. They shouldn't be in Game 5. They should be moving on.
Yeah, they should be like the Dodgers right now. Dodgers are just waiting for whoever they can get. Yeah, both my teams are still in it though. The Tigers and the Dodgers, so they're going to be in the World Series. So anything can happen.
Yeah, and I may have to go with the Cubs on this one. I don't know. It just seems like there's no way. I think they let the Cubs stay in it.
You would be right to say that too, because Milwaukee has a very bad history of blowing stuff in the playoffs. They could be a really good team and they just blow it in the playoffs. So you're right, spot on about you. You know, you're thinking that Chicago could win that series. So I mean, either way, I just think Milwaukee needs to stop that narrative and win a game and go play the Dodgers, and that'll be a really good series too. But I
Agree.
mean, I just think Milwaukee needs to get their head out their butt. That's all. If they do that, they'll be fine. And then the winner of this game will play the Toronto Blue Jays of the Mariners, and the Tigers will be playing the Blue Jays on Sunday. That'll be game one for the ALCS. And then on Saturday, of course, we got our college football. Oh, yeah, Pink Panther, thank you very much. Good job. Finals, game 4. The Las Vegas Aces at the Phoenix Mercury. You know what? I don't follow too much WNBA. I'm not gonna even lie. Okay, but I know some of the players in the league, and I know how some of those players are, how good some of those players are. And Las Vegas Aces have one of the best players in the league, Aja Wilson. Yeah, for
I'm not giving you
MVP.
the four horsemen out there. I'm not giving you can't see me. I'm giving you a four-time MVP
MVP. That's
straight,
right.
four MVP straight. Audrey
Yeah.
Wilson. Congrats, young lady, and I hope you continue to win. And no disrespect to the Mercury, but if you got a four-time MVP, usually that should come with championships too. So shout out to Audrey Wilson, and hope you win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hope they do too. Because they are, about to win the 4th national title. There you go. And about to win the 4th national title. All right. Yeah, so we got that going on. I'm glad you said that, Pink Panther, because we do need to give WNBA a little bit of coverage on that whole situation.
And some
Hockey,
love.
yeah, and some love for that. Yeah, hockey is starting already too. The NHL season has kicked off. Unfortunately, my Red Wings got their behinds kicked in by the Canadians. That's a good way to start off the year. But anyway. And I did say the Phillies had lost yesterday. So there's it's again 2 games of a 82 game season. They play the same amount as the NBA does. And the NBA, speaking of which, they're doing their preseason right now before they start playing, and that's getting up. So there's a lot of sports out there that you can, if you're a fan of any one of those sports, if you're a fan of all those sports, you're going to be in heaven, because there's so much to choose from. We also got the college football on Saturday, and we were talking about the LSU matchup, and Michigan's playing USC. Let me see if we have any other good good
Yes,
one.
we do. I got them listed here, brother.
All
We
right.
got
Go for it.
OSU, Ohio State versus Illinois. Number one, 5-0 versus Illinois. Number 17, 5-1. You know what? Let me say, I haven't seen any team that Illinois has played that made them look like they're formidable. But they did beat USC, the team you're going to play, number 21 USC, 34-32. But yes, it is the big whoop you do. I
And
don't
they
think they're
got
going to.
destroyed by Indiana 63-3.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They bounced back. I think it was a bounce back game for them because, I mean, anybody lose that bad, you wonder where their head is at. Look, I mean, is it in a toilet? I mean, is it, on a ledge somewhere? I don't know. It's, yeah, no one wants to see nobody put 63 up on you and you only scored 10 points. Yikes. And you were ranked like way up there.
Yeah, you were ranked ahead of the team that beat the crap out of you.
Yes. I mean, but they took BTA for real. And for those of you who don't know what BTA is, go ahead and tell them what BTA is.
It's belt to the ass. Belt to the ass.
Multiple times. Multiple times.
63
times. Yes. Flogged. They got flogged. So with that said, I think Ohio State comes out with a big win here. I don't think that Illinois will have a fight in this game, even though that it's at home. I think Ohio State's going to win this game, and I know you don't like them. I just think that they're a better team right now. It may be a close game, who knows? But I just don't. I don't think they have it in them to match up against a team like Ohio State.
Well, I mean, I don't like Ohio State. You're right, but I'm not going to be, I'm going to be real with it. Ohio State. It's funny how incumbents are thinking that Illinois has got a chance in this game. I said, dude, they lost 63-3 to Indiana. Come on. And Ohio State's been playing pretty good, consistent football. They've been playing a lot of good defense. And I'm not trying to give any shout out to Matt Patricia. It's the players. It ain't him because he sucks. I don't care what nobody says. Matt Patricia sucks. So
the best thing about him is his pencil in his ear.
Yeah. You need to stick it through his ear. Anyway. But yeah, in this particular game, I can't see OSU losing this game at all. Period. But anyway, what else you got?
Speaking of the big team that scored 63, they got a big game. Indiana, number 7, Indiana versus number 3, Oregon. That's a big game. 5-0 versus 5-0 in Oregon. I'm watching that game, sir. I think that's going to be the real test.
Best game.
Yes.
Best game of the weekend, I think.
That's Indiana's. I think that's their big litmus test. They whipped the crap out of Illinois, but Fighting Illini had no fight in them. Oregon's got fight. The Beavers are going to bring it to the dam.
and just on the alert of that as well. Indiana is a great team. They are a really good team. The next team that they played was Iowa, and they scored, I think it was like a 20-15 or 20-12 or something like that, 27 or something. It was a low scoring game. Man, they've been blowing out teams before this. Now they blew out teams that, frankly, they should have blew out. And then they blew out Illinois, which was a good test. And Detroit just hit a 2-run homer. Detroit's winning 2-1. There you go. Kerry Carpenter.
All right.
I told them not to put Kirby in there. They should have put Castillo in the pitch like he did when they were playing Scuba the first time.
You were in a slump, sir. You were in a slump in the third inning. I told you that just say give him time, man. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, Kerry Carpenter happens. That's his Kerry Carpenter's 6th home run against Kirby. He is 6 for 15 now, he's 9 for 15, and 6 of those are home runs.
Well, let's go Tigers. I'm pulling for the Tigers.
Why would you put that pitcher on the mound that has a history against that type of hitter, and instead of putting Castillo out there, who was lights out when he was pitching against Skubal? And I don't know. I don't think that was a good move by Seattle. But anyway, back to college football. What is this point spread for that game?
I'm not sure. I don't have it with me, but what I will say is Indiana was at this point of the season last season where they were looking good until they came up against Ohio State and they got whipped. So I want to see. That's why I say this is a real litmus test for Indiana. If they can win this game, and even if they win it by like 6 or 7 points, it's still Oregon. I think they have a good chance to run the ship to the playoffs at least. And still from there, we don't know what may happen by that time. But again, this is probably the best game of Saturday. Now, unless you got anything else, I want to talk about this Alabama-Missouri game. Alabama started the season against Florida State, got whipped. But since then, they have looked very good. They're 4-1 right now. They beat a couple of they beat Georgia. Even though they didn't score in the second half, they still beat Georgia 24-21. That's their best game of the season. Now they got to come up against a really good 5-0 Missouri team that's ranked 14th. Alabama's ranked number 8. Missouri, in all the 6 games they played them since 1975, has never won against Alabama. Can they beat at home Alabama? Do you think they have a shot at beating Alabama? Excuse me.
No. Flat out no. I think Alabama has risen. I think they have risen. I like Missouri too. Missouri's always one of my favorite football and basketball teams because they're always underrated, and they come into a lot of their competitions with spunk, and they surprise a lot of teams when they do that. But this Missouri football team is not going to be able to beat Alabama. Like I said, I think Alabama's on its way up. So I sometimes when you lose early in the season, you kind of make corrections. If you're one of those good teams and you have a good head coach, which they do, you make those adjustments and you say, hey, let's get our head out of behinds. Let's do this. We're Alabama. This is not Alabama football we're playing. We need to play Alabama football. So there you go. I think you're going to do.
Probably.
I think you're going to be it.
Well, Pete, it's going to be Roll Tide. It's going to be Roll Tide this weekend. We both agreed that Alabama will win this game. And now, what I will say regarding Alabama, they will win this game, but they have a tough schedule following. I'm going to tell you who they got to play. After Missouri, number 14, they got number 12, Tennessee. They got South Carolina. They got number 6, Oklahoma. They got to face a daunting schedule. If they can come through that squeaky clean, at least 4-1 or 3-1 out of those games, Alabama is legit for real. But that's going to be a tough schedule. That's going to be a really, really tough schedule.
Yeah, I just think that Alabama's tough test, I think, is going to be that Oklahoma game because Oklahoma's playing pretty well too.
And speaking of which,
even without their star quarterback right now, I think he should be back. He should be back by that game. I say he's going to miss like 4 games, so he should be back by the time they play Alabama. So that'll be really interesting that game there.
Well, speaking of which, they're questioning about whether or not he's going to play tomorrow, brother.
Whoa!
Red River Shootout. The Red River Shootout is, for those of you who don't know what the Red River Shootout, that's a classic rival game between Texas and Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. So, and the guy we're talking about is John Mateer. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. He's a transfer that came in to Oklahoma this year, and he's got them undefeated and playing some inspired ball. I mean, he's a dual threat quarterback. He sort of reminds me of Tim Tebow, or I'm trying to think of another guy he kind of plays like. He's pretty awesome there, but he hurt his hand. He had to have surgery on his hand. And he was, like you said, he's supposed to be out maybe about 4 to 5 weeks, but it hasn't even been 4 or 5 weeks. And they hadn't said yet. They hadn't put it out there whether or not he's going to play. I think it's probably a game time decision. He may not play. But like you said, they still won without him. But I don't know if they can. This is my prediction for this game. If he plays, they win. If he doesn't play, they lose. It's just that simple to me. I know Texas has had a couple bad losses to a couple of teams. They lost to Florida, which was interesting to lose 29-21, was it? Or 24? Mm-hmm. What was the score? Something like that. Mm-hmm. Florida has a great front seven defensively. So they gave fits to Arch Manning. But with that said, I just think that Texas and Oklahoma is a bitter rival. They're bitter rivals, man. So they're going to play each other very hard in this game. I think Arch is probably going to come and bring his A game in this game. No pun intended. Arch, A game, whatever it may be. I think that he's going to play a lot better than what he's played in those 4 games. And again, this comes down to the quarterback for Oklahoma. If he plays, I think they win. And I think they win by a large margin if he plays. If he doesn't, I think Texas has a great shot at winning this game and getting back into the ranking. Because they're not even ranked anymore. They went from 9 to nothing when they lost to Florida. I don't care if it's 26. You're nothing when you're 26. You're not in the top 25. So he's not there. So that's my take on that. I don't know what you got, but again, to me, my pick is game time decision if the quarterback plays or not, predicated on whether or not Mateer.
I think Oklahoma still wins that game.
Wow. Yeah.
I just think they're the better team right now.
Even in Texas?
Yep. I think it's the better team. I think Oklahoma's got everything going well for it. And if Mateer plays, it's going to get ugly for Texas quick. I just think Oklahoma's that good of a team right now. I mean, I witnessed them playing Michigan, and I'm telling you, that defense ain't no joke. That defense ain't no joke. So, and then you just add that with some, pretty decent offense, and they've been playing pretty decent offense. They haven't been playing spectacular offense, but they've been playing an offense to get down the field. And if you get Mateer out there, who was engineering that offense to, greatness, and he go, no, Texas ain't got a chance in this game. I'm sorry. I mean, every team has a chance. Let me rephrase that. Every team has a chance, but I think that Oklahoma takes this game pretty much.
Well, speaking of Oklahoma, Michigan, you just that's a good segue into the next team I wanted to go into. I wanted to go into Michigan. Number 15, Michigan goes to USC to play the USC Trojans, and I think this is a game that my man, who should have been an LSU Tiger, but he's not. It woulda, coulda, shoulda. We couldn't afford him. $2 extra million, which is a little too expensive. Bryce Underwood, I think he continues his progression as a true freshman quarterback. He's going to look a lot better than what he did last game and the game before that and the game before that. I think he's looking better. And I think, like you said, I heard you say that the coaches need to just take the reins off. Just take the shackles off of him and let him loose. Just let him play with it like he's got his hair on fire. And I think, because I've seen a kid play in high school, and that's why I was really excited about him coming to LSU. But I think, have a good night, Pink. Hope, yes, same to you. But I think that the Wolverines go into Southern California and get this game, get a victory.
Yeah, I feel the same way. At the beginning of the last game that they played, they didn't play. The offense was flat against Wisconsin. In the second half, somebody must have heard me, or the fans must have been getting on their case or something, because the offensive coordinator, and I don't like their offensive coordinator. I love their defensive coordinator. I just hate their offensive coordinator. He decided, you know what? I'm throwing his conservative playbook away, and I'm going to open up the can of whoop ass playbook. And when he was able to do what he was able to do, Bryce, that is, dude, they ran away with that game in the second half. So I think that's what they should do and start. Yeah, he's young. He's going to make mistakes, but let him make those mistakes when he's playing his game, with his hair on fire, like you said. Let him do that. Let him make his mistakes. I'm not expecting the Michigan to be a national champion this year. They have too many question marks at too many positions. I still expect them to be Ohio State, but anyway, that's a different story. But yeah. I mean, they should be fine against USC. That defense has got to play a little bit better against the run. They got gashed a couple of times against Wisconsin in the run, and the passing offense has to be a little bit better too. Passing the offensive line, pass blocks. But other than that, they should be fine against USC. This will probably be they're going to USC, so this will be a breakout game for them. They need to win this game to show that, hey, they already beat Nebraska. And Nebraska is one of those teams that could have upset Michigan, almost did, but they came through with a W on that one. But they go to USC and beat them. That might be another notch on their record that be like, oh yeah, they went to USC and beat them. So yeah.
Okay. So now I know we got about 6 minutes left. I got 3 trap game alerts. Let's start with one. I'm going to go with the lesser of the games that no one's probably going to pay attention to, but the surprising Georgia Tech, was it Blue Jackets? Yeah.
Yellow Jackets.
Oh, Yellow Jackets. Sorry. Oh, wow. I feel bad. That's how much we don't watch Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are 5-0 right now, and they are ranked number 13. They haven't been ranked like this in a long time. They're playing Virginia Tech, who's 2-4. They're both averaging pretty high in run yards and yards per game total, but Georgia Tech is averaging 37 points per game, and Virginia Tech is averaging 23.5 points per game. I don't know, man. They're going to be in Atlanta. They're going to be at Georgia Tech, and for whatever reason, I've seen Georgia Tech just blow games against the worst teams, man. And this has a feeling of a trap game to me. Like they got Virginia Tech's going to go there and steal a game from Georgia Tech. I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong, and Georgia Tech could just run the table. But we'll see, man. This is the making of a trap game to me. I'm still gonna pick Georgia Tech, but I'm just putting this as a trap game alert. I think there's a possibility that Virginia Tech could play them hard, and I think Georgia Tech might not look at them as a threat. And there's that possibility too. So we'll see. But I am going to pick Georgia Tech to win this game. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm picking Georgia Tech to win this game too. Only because you know why. I haven't really caught too many Georgia Tech games either. I've seen a lot of highlights, and they're a pretty good team. They're a pretty good team. But I'm just going by the fact that one of my favorite players from the Lions was from Georgia Tech, and that's Calvin Johnson.
Yes,
so that's why I'm going for Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech.
And Demarius Thomas went there too. Mike Vick and his brother. Yes, Marcus Vick and Dante. I forgot Hall, the Hall cornerback. I forgot to play for Atlanta. Yeah. With that said, two more games. Texas A&M at home, 5-0 versus Florida, 2-3. Trap game alert to me. I think that's potential trap game because Florida just come off knocking off number 9, Texas. There's a potential they could come and do the same thing to Texas A&M. But Marcel Reed and his team, man, and company, they've been running the ball like nobody's business. The quarterback, Marcel Reed. So I'm still going to go Texas A&M at home. But again, I just want to put it out there that there's a possibility that Florida, with that NFL front they have defensively, can shut that run game down. And Lagway's been getting a little bit better as a dual threat quarterback for Florida. So watch out. I still think it's Texas A&M, but what do you think?
I think the interesting battle in this game is going to be the Texas A&M offense against the Florida defense. Florida's defense is just outstanding, and that's got them a couple of wins. Those 2 wins. That defense in general. Texas couldn't even. First of all, their offense is malaligned anyway. But when they showed you, like Ohio State showed Texas, that defense will fluster that offense real quick. So, but Florida State's been steady on their defense. Their offense has been kind of, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But I'm going with Texas A&M too. I'm putting my trust in Texas A&M.
And last but not least, the last potential trap game, is number 10 Georgia versus Auburn. I'm going to say that Georgia, they're 4-1. Auburn's 3-2. Georgia looked good against Kentucky, but they looked good against Kentucky. When they played Alabama, they didn't score. They scored 1 touchdown in the third quarter, and of course nobody scored in the fourth quarter. But they didn't score at all. They looked pedestrian against Alabama's defense. And Auburn's not too bad. They lost 2 tough games. So I think Auburn potentially could be an upset. And I'm telling you what, I'm probably going to, at home, I'm going to go with Auburn in this game.
Yeah, and they barely beat Tennessee. They should have lost that game.
Yes.
So
I'm going to take Auburn.
I'm with you. I'm going with Auburn too. Because I like I said, there's too many superlatives for Georgia right now. They barely won games, and they're losing games that they should. No, I'll take Auburn. Yeah, I'll take Auburn too.
You heard it here.
Yeah. So, just one quick. What game are you looking forward to the NFL Sunday? What one game are you looking forward to?
Oh, the Saints versus the Patriots.
Besides the Saints versus.
Oh. I can't think of it, man, because I'm just hoping for a win. I don't know who else is even root.
Tampa Bay.
No, Atlanta.
San Francisco.
No, who's Atlanta playing?
Buffalo.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that game because there's a rival, and I want them to lose for sure. Kevin, if you're out there listening, I hope your birds get plucked. But with that said, good luck to you said the Bills? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck to the Bills.
Yeah, Kevin's team, Monkey's team, the Bills.
Yes.
Two other games that are in there is San Francisco and Tampa Bay are playing each other, 2 4-1 teams that are been grinding them out. That's going to be a really good game. And Seattle going to Jacksonville, also another good game. So look forward to those two. And on that note, me and James are out of here. We thank everybody that commented, Pink Pan Fan Fur, Jonathan Holloway, and, of course, the Mad Yinser. Everybody have a really good night. Take care. Enjoy all the sports that are going on this weekend. Have a good evening.